So I'm moving back to the U.S., and my dear friend, Kieran Folliard, who some of you may know, he owned the Local, the Liffey, Kieran's Pub. I had worked with him at that first job at Antcor Companies. And this is why you keep in touch with people, and this is why you never burn bridges, right? So I moved back to Minnesota, and Kieran's opening the Local in 1997. He said, Jack, come down here and be my director of marketing. I was like, Kieran, I've never worked in a bar or restaurant a day in my life, and I had marketing 101, right? That's not my background. He said, you're going to be great. So, and he said, we're going to get you some health insurance, and you're going to get your back taken care of. And so I joined Kieran, we opened the Local, and it opened to great success, and we were just having a blast working together. This is where the beer idea was created. It was actually when I was working with Kieran at the Local. There was a lot of magic going on there. And there were three things that happened to put the beer concept and business model in my head. One thing was the CFO of the pubs said, Jackie and Kieran, you are so over budget on your giving, and you have no strategy, and you need to stop the madness. And that was a powerful message. Although I blame Kieran for most of it. He gave away more than I did. The second thing was a friend of mine said, Kieran's such a local celebrity, Jackie, he could have his own beer. You know, like Paul Newman has his thing. Kieran could have his own beer. And I thought, that's an interesting idea. And then the third thing that happened, I was out in Washington, D.C., and I heard Billy Shore speak. He's the founder of Share a Strength organization, an anti-hunger group. And he was the first man I had ever heard talk about having a for-profit company fund nonprofit activities. And it was like my hair was on fire. I was sitting there eating a salad, and I looked up, and I'm like, that is the smartest thing I have ever heard. I'm going to go do that. And I literally made up my mind right there. I was taking a bubble bath. This is where I get my best ideas. And it came to me, okay, what if we started our own beer company in the pubs, and we created a beer, and we rolled it out in the pubs, and then we gave all the profits to one cause, so we really made a difference. And so I came back and I pitched it to Kieran, and he's like, oh, geez, Jackie, what are you thinking there? And I'm like, no, really, I think we could make this thing work. So I just kind of kept bugging him. And then a couple months down the road, we're in a meeting with Dave Anderson, who is then the president of James Page Brewing Company. And Kieran looked at me and he said, Jackie, you have 2 minutes to pitch that crazy beer idea. And I'm still mad because I got no time to plan. And I was nervous, and I kind of spit it out wrong. But Dave Anderson looked back and he said, you know what, we'd love to do that for you guys. So Kieran and I spent a very hard day's work over at James Page Brewing Company back in 1999. And they lined up a bunch of different microbrews. And Kieran and I went through and tried each one, and Kieran and I were like, ooh, we like that color, we like that finish, and we basically described the beer that we wanted their brewmaster to make. 100% of our profits go to alleviating hunger. And so our mission at Finnegans, very clear, turning beer into food. That's what we do, turning beer into food. In each state where we sell our beer, so it's Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin, and we're also in Hammond Stadium in Florida. That's kind of my favorite market in the sense that I'd like to get down there in the winter if we can, right? And so how that works is we have one nonprofit partner. So Emergency Food Shelf Network is our partner in Minnesota. They have a program called the Harvest for the Hungry program. Basically what happens with our product is, for all the beer I sell in Duluth, the profits go to purchasing produce from a farm in Duluth, and that produce goes to a soup kitchen in Duluth. For all the beer I sell in Brainerd, those profits go to purchasing from the St. Matthias Farm in Brainerd and goes to the Salvation Army in Brainerd. So each beer market reaps the benefits of the sales of our product, and so it is truly scalable.